What is up, guys? I am Joey here, and today I'm here with a different video for you, a different type of video. This is more of a to do with the PSA video. Now, I've had a lot of really good feedback for the PSA video on how to submit cards to PSA, so thank you so much for that. If you haven't checked that out already, do check that out if you're thinking about grading your Pokemon cards or your sports cards. But I've had a couple of messages on saying, well, Joey, okay, now I know where to send them. How do you send them? So today I'm going to be showing you how I send them. Of course, I talked in the last video a little bit about acrylics and things like that, so these types of things here with the penny sleeves and the acrylics. Well, this time I'm going to be talking about how I box them, how I envelope them, how I send them, how to make sure they get there undamaged, and all that good stuff. So today we are going to do it in 5 easy steps on how to send your Pokemon / sports cards to PSA or just in general to another client. Step number 1, get yourself some tape. Now, I have 3 different types of tape here. I have the fragile tape, which you can obviously use at the end after you've boxed or enveloped the cards. I have the sellotape, so you can tape your home address on or their address. And I have the box tape, of course, slightly tougher, so you can put this around the parcel, use this to tape on your information, their information, and then you ultimately finish it with this if it's of a higher value. This one is basically optional, but I always like to put just a strip of fragile. Some people take notice and take a little bit of extra care of your parcel if you had this. So, and I will of course be showing you how I do this as well. So there you go, you get your tapes, there's your 1, your 2, there's your 3 tapes there. Wonderful. What next? So next, get your envelope or your box. Now I pick up just a couple of standard envelopes for $1.99 from my local post office. You can use those, or a box. Now nothing too big, this isn't very big at all, so if I get a Pokemon card, this box isn't absolutely huge, but you can fit a fair whack in there. Of course, if it's only going to be sending, say, below 10 cards, I'd use the envelope. And if I was sending more than 10 cards, I'd probably use the box. Now, we're going to start off with the envelope and show you exactly how I do it. So we'll get an envelope out of here. That sounded dead like Australian. But we'll get an envelope out of here and we'll just show you quickly how I do it with an envelope. So say, like I showed you, say you want to send this Slowbro and you don't want to send in a box, it's going to cost you too much. Of course, you don't need to send 1 card in a box. I never send 1 card in a box unless it's of a substantial value. So you get that, and then we're going to go to tip number 4, which you will use with this, is cut up an old box. So as you can see here, I've cut up an old Amazon parcel. And what do you do with this? Well, I will show you exactly what you do with this. So you just get this. You don't need scissors, they usually rip pretty easily. Get this, just rip it into pieces that are small enough. By the way, when this is cardboard, this isn't just papery cardboard, this is quite robust. Obviously it's going to help, especially with it being in the acrylic anyway. So what I do is you pop your piece of card down, you pop your Slowbro on top of it, and you pop your card on top. Now, you can send it like that, however, I also like to bubble. I've got a bit of small bubble here. I mean, these are the bigger bubbles, but usually I have smaller. So just for example, you pop your bubble down, you wrap your Slowbro up in your bubble, there you go. So you get your sellotape, of course, you don't need a lot. So you get your Slowbro Pokemon card, you wrap it up in the bubble, tape the bubble closed like so. I always tape up each end, and you can do this for a bigger amount of cards as well. So you do that. So I've taped, I'll show you now, I've taped each end closed. I've taped this side, I've taped this side, so you cannot get in this. It's quite sturdy. There you go, it's quite good, it's quite good. There's your Slowbro card, then you pop your Slowbro in between the sandwich of the 2 cardboards like so, like that. So I'll show you like that. Again, this isn't very big, so you should still be able to fit this in an envelope. If this was, say for example, a Charizard, this is exactly how I would ship it. So you just tape the one side like that, so that is tape. So you tape basically all sides like so. There we go. There you go, and all sides are now taped. This is taped, this is taped, this is taped, this is taped. It's not going to fall out. And then, of course, you whack it then into the envelope and just send it as a small or large envelope. Then it's in the envelope, as you can see. What I do then, just to make sure, is I always pop a bit of tape onto the envelope here, just to make sure the envelope is fully closed, and then just fold it down until you can make it as small as possible. So keep folding, and then this is where I would then use the parcel tape on the outside, because I think it's stronger. And there we go, just parcel tape it down as small as you can, of course without squashing it. So I've taped that down now, and then you're ready to pop your address on here. So of course a pen. So I always use, most of the time I always use like a permanent marker, something along those lines. I know it's not going to get to the card because I've got the cardboard and the acrylic in the way. So you write your address, so I'll just write Joey, oh it's run out, and then 1, 2, 3 street, and then your 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So you've got your name, you've got your street, and then your postcode. That's obviously not mine, but you get the idea. And then you've got we can write this small bit here is your return. So you can write your return here. So you can write your return there, of course. So you can write your return on the back. You've got the address on the front, and that is how I would send a smaller card, or 1 or 2 or 3 cards. Now, if you're going to send a big whack of cards, this is where the box will come in. So, and I'm going to tell you what I do. So I've got my PSA cards here, so I'm going to use quite a few, because most of you are going to be sending to PSA watching this video. Of course, they've already got their flags in, ready to go to PSA. They've got the acrylics on. Now that's a big whack of cards right there, and you don't want these wobbling, you don't want them throwing around, and I implore you not to use elastic bands because they can snap, they could damage your card if you've not got the acrylics. So I'll pop them there for just 1 second. I will show you what I do. So you get another piece of bubble wrap if you can. If you don't have bubble wrap, newspaper, old books, that sort of thing. You don't have to use this if you've got a small enough box where they don't wobble. It's not really necessary, but you get a nice piece of bubble wrap. You layer your box, so you inlay your box like so. So that's now at the bottom of the box. And then what I would then do, if I move these out of the way, what I would then do is, so there's the bottom of your box. So there is the bottom of your box right here. Here's the ends of the flaps here and here. So there's your box. I've got my, of course, substantial amount of cards. There's probably 50 or so here ready to be graded. And what I would do is I'd whack them straight in the middle like that. And then what I'd do is I'd go around them like this, make sure they're nice and tight like that. There you go. So you can see they're nice and tight in the middle, and I've wrapped them in a way where they're not going to move. Now you've still got gaps here and here, so of course what I then do is I get another layer of bubble wrap. If it's too big, which it looks like this is going to be, I would then top some bubble wrap down the side, and then I give it a little shake just to make sure it's not moving. As you can see, that ain't moving now unless I shove my hands in there and I go like this. That's not moving. I make it as tight as possible so the box is almost bulging. There you go, and then you can pop your flaps over, and then of course you can tape this closed, pop your address on, pop your return on the back, and then they're ready to be sent to PSA. Now, of course, you can send cards like this anyway if you've sold them on Facebook, eBay, or whatever. That's how I would pack my sports cards, my football cards, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Digimon, Zelda, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, whatever you may. That is how I would pack my cards. The only way you could make this better is if you taped around the bubble wrap before you put it in the box. Now, I don't mind doing that. For example, if I take all this out and I've got my abundance of cards here, I could tape this bubble wrap closed. Now, you can do that, however, I find people will then get scissors to the cards and accidentally snip a card if you don't have the acrylics on. So that's also something you could do as well. But I always just like to triple bubble, tuck it down the sides like this, tuck the bubble down, and then if you've got room for more bubble, always put more room. If you've got more room for bubble, I implore you to use as much as you can, and then just tape it all closed. And then I would then use the box tape around, and I will show you now what I mean. So you've got your tape. I would literally just go around it and around it and around it, around it and around it. So you've gone around it several times. So there you go. You've got your tape is now around it, all on the bottom. So that's pretty secure top and bottom wise now. And you can do the same around the sides if you would like, if you're shipping from the UK to another country like America, France, Canada, or wherever you may be shipping. Now lastly, of course, you have the fragile tape. Now you'll always want to leave somewhere to pop your return, so on the side, or if you want to pop a piece of paper, you can obviously use the sellotape then to tape down a piece of normal paper down onto the box and just make sure it's secure. So you've got the fragile tape. This is just normal. This was about £1. Poundland, B&M. You can buy it online as well, Tesco's, if you want to pay a little bit more for it, if you're desperate for it. But mainly B&M, Pound World, Home Bargains, you know, your cheapo shops. You usually find a roll for £1, and then you'll find these 2 rolls for £1 in like your Pound World and your B&M's and things like that. Now, you get your fragile tape on the box. So I've just stuck this onto the top of the box like this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just go straight down it, back round, straight up, and like that. So it's obviously, it would be better if I wasn't trying to do it for a video, but just stick that down. You get the idea, through the middle, and then you can also so that's then stuck on all the way around, and then again you can always go around the sides as well, just to make it that little bit extra secure, that little bit extra cautious, I'm going to call it, especially if you're sending them Zards to PSA. You want them to get there. You want them to get there completely safely, of course. So there you go. That's now fragile all the way around the sides, and then fragile along the top. That's secure. Shaking it, there's no rattle, there's nothing in there. There's no air in there, so it's got a space it can move into. It's got more than enough bubble in there. It's not all over bulging. The parcel isn't too big. That would go as a small parcel, which I think is £3 and 10 pence, something like that, with second Royal Mail. And then these would go as a small large letter, second class large letter, which I think is about 95p or 97p or £1 at most. And then of course you've got your address on the front, you've got enough for returns on the back, you've got your cardboard in there, so it's very hard to bend unless you're trying. And if the postman gives it a frisbee, the card's going to be intact, it's going to be fine. I could have probably fit a good 10 cards in there, but of course I've only got the 1 in there. And then of course in there I've got about 50. You could probably fit 200 or 300 in there if you wanted to. If you're sending bigger albums, it's just the same process but with a bigger box. Cardboard is always handy. Don't just use it as a box, use it to protect your cards inside the box. If you have bits of cardboard lying around from Amazon, bits of paper, you have Amazon boxes lying around like me, rip off the arms and use them. Recycle, guys, save the planet, save the trees. But yeah, that's it. That's how I would send my Pokemon cards, my sports cards, if I sell it on eBay, Facebook, if I sell it on anywhere, even if I'm sending it to PSA or if I'm moving house, this is how I would pack them. Always pack cards how you would want to receive them. If you don't want to receive the card in just a gammy little, if you don't want to receive a Charizard in one of these where it can just bend, and I've just turned this into this where it can't bend, and these where it can ridiculously bend. If you don't want your cards to be received like this, then send them like this and teach people. People will learn upon receiving a parcel themselves. So I learnt this myself by sending a parcel or sending a Pokemon card like this, having it come back, and then me learning. So I'm teaching you guys, you teach me, we all help each other, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, guys. It's kind of lengthy, but I kind of want to do it properly. I don't want it to be 2 minutes long, where things aren't explained properly. So hopefully I'll try and trim this down as much as I can, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you did like this video or this did help you, please do leave me a thumbs up, it really helps. Check out my other tutorials, as I try and help you guys as much as I can. I learn while you learn, so we teach each other, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go and check out my PSA video if you can. If you're thinking about submitting to PSA, go and check that video out. It's super easy, it's super helpful, and I've worked really hard on these videos, guys. So a watch and a like and a subscribe would do me even better. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I am Joey, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.